Okay, here we go. What's up, guys? This video is on the subject of fuel blending. If you're trying to build a waste oil burner for a forge or maybe even just a heater and you're having trouble getting it lit, some of this information is going to help you out because newcomers to the game have a lot of trouble getting their waste oil burners lit. And I want to tell you, in the beginning, it can take up to an hour to light a waste oil burner if you haven't learned it yet. You have to learn the machine. But what I'm going to do here is light these cups of fuel with various fuel ratios. We have a 50-50 mix, 50% gas, 50% oil. This is 40% gas, 30% gas, and on down the line. I'm going to light these cups simultaneously and give us an idea of how hot of a mix these mixes are. I don't recommend going over a 50-50 mix. You really don't need to. For ignition purposes, it's the only reason I would ever use a mix that hot. Now, if your device has design limitations, you may be required to run a 10% mix. A lot of waste oil burners have nozzles that are set up for viscosities in the diesel fuel range. So if you go putting a thick fluid in there, they're not going to atomize properly, especially if it doesn't have a preheater on the system. So, I forgot to mention, never attempt to start a waste oil burner with pure gasoline. I've done it, and I'm here to tell you, it ain't no fun when you're there. Pretty cool to watch. I didn't get it on film, but I'm going to tell you something. You didn't hear a bird chirp for an hour after I did that. I touched off a waste oil burner one day that's about the size of this tank right here, using pure gasoline on a drip feed setup like this. And I had no idea. It had a blower fan going and everything, so it was forced air, fuel. I had no idea what would happen, would ever take place. I knew it might be a little hot. I thought it might roar, but it exploded like a bomb. It was insane. It was so loud that it literally scared the birds out of the neighborhood for a while. It was a massive blast. It was very similar to those propane crow guns that you see. Have you ever seen a crow gun or a crow cannon? It's basically just a tube that fills up with propane gas and then ignites like every half hour. And the explosion is so loud that it scares the birds away. That's what happened to me that day. So never touch off a waste oil burner with pure gas. I did it, and I'm here to tell you, it is loud. It is far louder than you would ever imagine. It was like an explosive. It was not your typical everyday gas explosion that you're accustomed to. It was ear-ringing and could have ruptured the vessel, but it didn't. Thank God. Okay, here we go. As you can see, that 20 barely lights. If it gets hot enough, it will. I just really got that 10 hot, so it's gonna do that. It'll probably go out here in a second. But that just gives you an idea of your different burns. Probably let them burn a second. That one's gonna end up boiling over on me, and I don't want that to happen. I have a bucket of ashes in place. Spray bottle. I'm really surprised that 10% is burning right now. It's got to be from the heat vaporizing. Typically a 10% won't burn. It's burning the same as the 20. May have to redo the test. Not a huge notable difference between those ratios, which is pretty valuable information as far as wasting money on putting more gasoline in a mix. The 50 is boiling. Starting to boil over here. I would imagine it's the fluid is expanding due to heating. I'm working on a pretty dangerous situation here. The more dangerous, the better, I suppose. I'm amazed the 10% mix is burning. It's surely going to go out here in a minute. Tell you what, a little pre-wetting probably wouldn't hurt anybody. Don't want to go kindling the place up. Man, that 30's not doing so well. What's going on with that? There's a chance I've put them too close together and the heat from one is benefiting the other. Yeah, I can't believe that 10% mix is burning. I'm wondering if I botched the blend. In the past, I haven't been able to get it to light. The container is very hot, which is explaining it. I think the container is involved in the combustion. The heat is vaporizing the oil. I'm at about 127 degrees. Ironically, that's the coldest pot. Now, what is going on there? Maybe there's just a different recessivity, whatever they get, emissivity or whatever it is. I can't say the word. Why is that the coldest pot? Is it because it's boiling the most? Explain that. I don't get it. Crazy. When that 10% goes out, I think maybe I'll shut it down. It's probably about to burn the 10% of the gas out of it. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if maybe I put them too close together. The 30% is just acting weird. It has been the whole time. Strange on that 10% burn. I wonder if the oil I used already had gas in it. I don't think it did. Shouldn't have. At any rate, I think we've seen enough. You've seen how hot these various burns are. And for whatever reason, this last cup is the coolest cup. Well, it's getting hot now. But look at the difference in temperature. They're literally boiling fuel. That's part of the problem right now. This oil is very hot. So, in a sense, this test was not a very good representation, but sufficient, I would conclude nonetheless. So if you're ever getting ready to light a waste oil burner and you're interested to know what type of fuel blend is the best for ignition, I just go with the 50-50. And a 10% blend may get you through the day if your design has limitations. And that's very easy to come across. A lot of designs that you'll build will not run on pure oil, but don't let that deter you. Some of the best commercial units cannot burn pure waste oil, so keep that in mind when you're building these things. So all you forge builders and listen to that, remember that it can take up to an hour to get a waste oil burner lit if you are not familiar with that device. So the first time, don't think an hour's a long time to get one of these things started. You have to learn the device. Most of the time it's too much air during ignition. I have found that I have had to reduce the air drastically while keeping a high amount of fuel input. At any rate, I hope this helps somebody. I just wanted to do a quick demonstration of the flammability of different fuel blend ratios that you may have to use in your waste oil burning combustion endeavors.